Wonderful to meet all of you on Monday. That's on 29th of August, 2022, on the beautiful soil and the planet that is world global, but a beautiful country called India. Now, ladies and gentlemen, nowadays we are doing a special program preparing global teachers, and our focus is Northeast India. Northeast India is calling all of us, all young boys and girls, those are interested to get into education ecosystem as teachers, as counselors, as principals, as mentors, as coach, as directors, as associate directors, or whatever position you want to take in education ecosystem. This program is relevant to each one of you. Those are doing B.Ed at this point of time, these skills, these competencies, these capabilities, if you'll pick up, you'll become a better teacher leader. Today, we are going to dedicate this short, crisp, and to the point program on to teacher leadership. Let's move on. Let's think about it, what exactly it is, how teacher leadership is so important to all of us. We will take on that. I'm grateful to Vidhi Jaiswal ma'am, who being the first participant to join on this particular program. Globally, we extend you a very, very warm welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, what is effective leadership? But before we come on to the effective leadership, because if there is an effective leadership in any institution, any school, any college, any university, any training center, any skill center, so it would reflect something very important, certain qualities. So let's take on what are the effective schools. Number one, professional leadership. Number two, focus on teaching and learning. It's very important that we should focus on what contents, what module, what academics, and what extracurricular activities are being imparted, how teachers, they are imparting that particular knowledge, and how students are happy. That is something very important. Then there is a purposeful teaching. That means whatsoever is being taught and whatsoever is being learned by student, that is purposeful. Shared vision and goals. What are the objectives? What are the goals? High expectations of all the learners. Children are enthusiastic, they are creative. Accountability of everyone. Learning communities which has to be created, stimulating, rewarding, and securing the learning environment. It's very important for all of us. Now, there are 5 roles for a teacher leader. Number 1, resource. Number 2, support. Number 3, mentor. Number 4, helping hand. And number 4, the focus is on learner. A teacher is a person who will have to fill many roles when you are into this particular profession. Teacher can also be a separate kind of a leader. That means like a principal, like a vice principal, like a headmaster, director, whatever you want to call it. They are the people with educational leadership skills, and they must continue to grow and develop as professionals. Anyone seeking to be a teacher should take advantage of any chance they get to grow as a person, as a teacher. It's very important for all of us. Now, we are going to focus on 5 features of teacher leadership. What is teacher leadership? Like I am communicating to all of you now. Let's take an example. There is a school, there's a principal. If principal is enthusiastic, if principal is communicating effectively, if principal is getting connected with the teachers, if principal is going around, meeting everybody, making everybody comfortable, asking their welfare, when somebody is entering school or somebody is leaving school, you exchange the pleasantries with each other, say good morning, say good evening, stay fit, stay fine, stay healthy, take care of your health. That all is very important. So 5 features of teacher leadership. It has to be student-centered. It has to be action-oriented. It has to be beyond one classroom. It has to be having a positive influence, and it has to be collaborative. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody can grow alone. You need community. You need others. Somebody has to do your hand holding to bring you up in your life to the next step of the ladder. Otherwise, you would remain there only. And if you wish to remain over there, it's your choice. There are 8 billion people on this planet. There's a lot of rush. If you do not grab the opportunity, you're going to miss the chance and the boat. Now, the domains of these standards for teacher leaders, there are different domains which you have to understand. You got to foster a collaborative culture to support educators. You got to be having accessing and using research to improve various practices and student learning, promoting professional learning for continuous improvement, facilitating improvement in instructions and students' learning, promoting the use of assessments and data for the school and the whole community improvement, improving outreach and collaboration with families and communities, and finally, advocating for students' learning and profession. Now, how to be a teacher leader? Now, there are various steps. Let's take them one by one. If we start with how to be a teacher leader, let's move to the next stage. Be the thing you touch or you teach. That is something very, very important. Be the expert of your classroom. Be able to defend your practice. Be continually reflective of your practice. Be data savvy. You should know the latest data, whatsoever is available. Share with your people. Be informed about education policy. What are the latest changes? How do you have to bring that to the classroom? Be positive and give solution. You should be solution oriented. Rise above the turbulences. Problems will always be there. Difficulties will always be there. But we got to move up. That is like a good leader. A teacher leader thinks beyond walls, the four walls of the school or college or premises or of their classroom, what their impact can be. Do you know, teachers create a lot of impact. When children go home, they always say, oh, our teacher has told us this thing. Sometimes parents want to convey something. They say, no, 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 no. Our teacher has told us this. I'm going to do that way only. Now, the domains of the teacher's leadership knowledge. Teacher leader, respected as teachers, learning oriented, leadership capacities. When we talk about leadership work, it is valued, it is visible, it is negotiated, it is shared. Now, various conditions when we talk about, it is a supportive culture, it's a supportive principal and colleagues, it's a time, it's a resources, and it's development opportunities. Now, what are the means of leadership influence? Maintaining a focus on learning of students. Education has to be learning centric. Establish trusting and constructive relationship. You know, the other party, the other people, they should have a trust in you. They should trust you. That kind of a bond and a relationship, that is teacher leadership, which you have to build. Interact through formal and informal points of influences. Now, targets of leadership influence, it could be individual, it could be team, it could be group, it could be organizational capacity. Now, what could be the intermediary outcome of the leadership? That is improvements in learning practices, and everything in the leadership of education ecosystem should be student learning centric. Okay, academic leaders or the top management to develop teacher leader for school development. There are 7 steps. Let's talk about how to develop teachers. Number 1, realize teacher leadership is essential. 2, recognize teacher leadership as a teachable skill. Number 3, recruit teachers to become teacher leaders. Number 4, build leadership capabilities among teachers. Number 5, nurture leadership qualities in teachers. Number 6, empower teacher leaders. Number 7, provide ongoing professional growth opportunities for teacher leaders. The role of a teacher leadership in how principal influence classroom instruction and student learning. Now, there's something very important we all should understand. There's a principal leadership, there's a teacher leadership, and there's an organizational process which we have to follow. And whatever organization process you have taken, that should come to classroom instructions. And finally, there should be a win-win situation for students. There should be a student achievement. Research, school leadership and school effectiveness has shown that leadership has significant but indirect effect on students' achievement that we all have to realize. Teacher leadership inspired by top management, how does it take place? Now, principal delegated teacher learning inside and outside classroom, when we take into consideration, there are inspiring effects, there are empowering effects, and there are alloying effects. Now, the boundaries of teacher leadership, whether you're talking about classroom, you're talking about particular subject, or you're talking about teams, or you're talking about organization as a whole, teachers leading change because they bring change. Now, the pathways from the school leadership to the school organization, processes, and students' outcome. This is something very important, ladies and gentlemen, particularly our children, those are doing B.Ed, try and understand school leadership as a prime mover of school improvement that indirectly influences classroom instructions and student learning through multiple organizational processes like professional capacity, learning climate, and parent community ties. The school's contextual conditions, such as socioeconomic and demographic background characteristics of students, where are they? Are they in urban area, rural area, far-flung area? What are the climate conditions? And how far is the neighboring borders? Do we have a hostile kind of environment over there? Or is it a peaceful environment over there? So everywhere, the packaging of the leadership has to be done accordingly. And finally, everything trickles down to classroom, and it has to be focused on students' learning. That is something which we all have to understand as long as it is students learning. Now, there are 4 elements of transformational leadership. A transformational leadership is one who encourages others to find ways to grow and change. Idealized influence, inspirational motivation, individualized consideration, intellectual stimulation, and finally, when you talk about it is a transformational leadership. Now, academic leadership framework, when you talk about from the top management, it's very important. Values and behavior, institutional values and professional, the attitude. And then comes the professional and personal development, work skills, then come people, then there's a decision making, then there's a goal setting, then the organization as a whole, and finally oversight, assurance of productivity, assurance of professional behavior, making everybody as a part of the team and taking everyone with you. Effective educational leadership, first of all, you should be very knowledgeable. Where from the knowledge will come? The teachers got to read a lot. If you want to be effective leader, you got to read a lot, you got to know a lot, you got to be ahead of others, you got to be exemplary, you got to be influencing them in a very positive way, where they take your views in a very constructive and with the open arms. So you got to be knowledgeable, you got to be professional. There has to be a positive reflection, and you have to build very positive relation with your entire team in the school. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's so many times conveyed how to be an organized principal and how to be an organized teacher, and who are the teacher leaders. Now, doing the right thing at the right time in the right way for the right person is very, very important. Can our schools be welcoming, so inviting, and so comfortable that every person, whosoever walks through our doors, they believe they are about to have an amazing experience when they go to institution, when they go to college, when parent-teacher meeting is there, parents are coming over there, how do they feel? What kind of a behavior do they feel? And they carry impression and imprints from there, how their children, how their kids might be treated over there. That is important. Now, how to create a culture of achievement in your school as well as in your classrooms. That is important. Teachers make education purposeful. Teachers take, when you talk about pride in their work, P stands for personal, R stands for responsibility, I stands for in, D stands for delivering, and E stands for excellence. So pride, personal responsibility in delivering excellence. The best chance of sustainable, meaningful change only happens with the strong teacher leadership in any educational institution. So this was a short and a crisp. I just want to touch everybody on teacher leadership, teaching leadership, principal leadership. Everybody in the education ecosystem, you are a leader, you are an influencer, you are an imprinter in your own way. So all of us, whatever your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. Come on, start thinking that. Let's come together. Let's make education and skills relevant. And that is possible. We are just trying to tell you over here, our email address is teacherstraining@icsi.asia, where you can correspond with us. Children, youth, young boys and girls, those are already in education ecosystem doing their B.Ed, M.Ed, or they are teachers somewhere, or those are interested to become teachers, get across to our colleague, our advisor for the Northeast part of India, Madam Julie Subba at 9311549658, or you can send a WhatsApp to my another colleague, Chitra Kapoor ma'am at 9988447058, and Madam Asha Habung also in Arunachal Pradesh. Don't forget, tonight at 7 p.m., we are going to have Northeast India Calling, Empowering Teachers. That program, we are going to share with all of you something very, very interesting. Okay, so we'll be touching all the 8 states: Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Meghalaya, Sikkim, and we would enjoy the beauty of Northeast. It's a scenic beauty. It's a natural beauty. It's a mountains, and it has got waterfalls. It has got cleanliness. It has got herbal plantation. It has got tourist trails. It has got ecotourism, agritourism, nature tourism. We will go to the tea gardens also. We will enjoy Tawang festival also. We will have lots of things. And then I will take you to a floating islands also in Manipur. And don't forget, Subhash Chandra Bose ji hosted the first flag of India's independence. That was at Moirong in Manipur. And if you want to travel from Northeast India to Southeast Asia, then I will take you to a place called More. That is the border between Manipur and Myanmar. From Myanmar, you can move ahead. You can go and enjoy the entire Southeast Asia. But let me show you tonight. We will be all together at 7 p.m. with young boys and girls of the Northeast India. Join us at 7 p.m. for yet another very powerful program, 7 to 8 p.m. right on the YouTube channel ICSI India.